Hello and welcome back to another FPL Forbesy video. It's wonderful to have you with me here today. We're going to be talking about the importance of formations, your captain choices, and of course when we should be playing our chips. I'll be diving into the details of the Opta stats provided by Fantasy Football Fix, which is a tool to help you digest the massive amount of data on all things FPL. Now, this video is not sponsored by Fantasy Football Fix, so there is no link. But if you found this information useful today, please hit that subscribe, hit that like, or that notification bell so you know when we will be releasing our next video. Now, diving into formations. The two most popular formations that we've seen that have been used by our top 50 managers have been the 3-4-3 formation, as well as the 3-5-2 formation. Let's dive into the reasons for this. Number one, defenders simply score fewer points because they have fewer opportunities to get assists and goals. The bonus point system, of course, heavily favors those players who get those assists and those goals. Hence why defenders simply have fewer opportunities to score more points. Number two, the reason for only playing perhaps the two up front in that 3-5-2 formation is it means you can invest more money in those midfield premium options who in previous seasons have been outscoring their striker counterparts. Your players like Salah, Sterling, Mane, and of course Kevin De Bruyne. Reason number three is that most Premier League clubs only play with one lone striker. They also, in the case of Liverpool, like Firmino, play a false nine role. So there's not always a double striker combination, meaning that strikers do tend to score fewer goals. And that's just a general trend that we've seen over the last 2 or 3 years. Reason number four for going for that 3 up front is that there were some very nice, cheaper forward options that really came through and got a lot of points for their team. Players like Bamford, Callum Wilson, and so on scored a lot of points and were affordable up front, meaning that you could have that third striker up front without compromising your midfield. Reason number five for going only perhaps with 2 up front is because those cheaper options this season have increased in price and may not allow you to have those premium picks in midfield that you were afforded last season. Moving swiftly on to captains. Having a good captaincy pick can be the difference between a good and a bad game week. What I've noticed from the statistics is that the top 50 managers mainly went for the most captain player of all the game weeks overall. That was usually Kevin De Bruyne, Raheem Sterling, and of course Mane. The top 50 managers very rarely captained any player outside of the top 6 teams. It was also usually a midfielder, meaning that perhaps we should consider also captaining very similar options consistently throughout the season. And we're in luck, because usually we get given the number of people that have captained a certain player before the deadline, so we can usually jump on that bandwagon pretty easily. Just a quick personal hint as well is that you should really then be putting the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Mane, Salah, perhaps even Sterling straight into your starting lineups for this season, just because they're great captaincy options throughout the entirety of the season. Also the likes of Bruno Fernandes as well. But keep in mind that all of those midfielders are premium picks. Once again, if you find the information useful today, please go ahead, hit that subscribe, that like, as well as notification bell so you know when we will be releasing our next video. Now chips and how to use them. Well, firstly, you can only play 1 chip during 1 game week. You can't play 2 chips during 1 game week. You also can't play a wild card in combination with one of your chips during the season. I learned that the hard way last season when I wanted to play my wild card as well as my bench boost at the same time. A quick tip as well is that you can cancel your triple captain or bench boost before the deadline once you've activated that chip. So if you get information shortly before the deadline, which may happen during the 2021-2022 season, due to the pandemic, they may have to cancel games if there are positive COVID cases. Just be aware of that. You can cancel your triple captain option or your bench boost. So, when did the top 50 managers play their chips during the 2019-2020 season? Well, at a glance, they used their bench boost option in game week 30, which was a double game week, allowing their teams the opportunity to their players to play almost 9,000 minutes. And what that means is even if the bench players just made an appearance in their two fixtures, they were already automatically getting 16 points from their bench. Of course, that's without any minuses. The free hit chip was used between game weeks 29 and game weeks 38, mainly due to the fact that there is a blank game week for your top 6 clubs usually in game week 31 or game week 33. The free hit, of course, allows you to change all of your players, and then the following game week goes back to the players that you took out originally. So you could take out some of your bigger hitters who perhaps weren't playing and bring in a few players that are playing in that particular game week, and then reverting back to your bigger hitters in the following game week. But due to the pandemic last year, many of the fixtures were condensed and there were no blank game weeks. So what we see in the numbers is that actually many of your top 50 managers used their free hit in the final game week 38, because many of the big teams had already secured their place in either the Champions League, Europa League, and what that meant was that they were resting players and there was lots of rotation, giving our managers the opportunity to use their free hit card then on players in teams that really were pushing for positions. The triple captainship was used in game week 24 when Liverpool had a double and Mo Salah was your most popular pick. I hope you found the information useful today, and until next time, bye bye.